everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a lovely day. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, I have a fun tutorial to share with you today. We're making a floral thank you card, and the items that we're using are part of Simon Says Stamps in My Heart release. It just went live in the shop. In fact, I'll leave a link down below if you want to check it out, but there's a lot of amazing things in the release. We'll go by step. How about that? For my focal point, we're going to be using the Honeybell Floral. It's just a gorgeous floral. We're going to layer some blooms. For my home panel, we're going to be using the Teardrop Pinpoint frames. These are so elegant, very lacy looking. Okay. For my greeting, we're going to be using the Simon Says Stamp and CZ Design Thank You. What I love about this is that it has a shadow, and then the thank and the you are solid. They're not individual pieces. So it's very, very easy to layer. We'll be using this as our greeting. And then for my background, we're going to be using the Nature in Bloom 6x6 clear stamp set. I love printed backgrounds, and I thought this would make a great background. And then I'm also excited about some of the cardstock that came in this pack. I'm not sure what the pack name is, but there's 4 different sheets of cardstock. Let me tell you the names of them. This mix pack contains apricot, moonflower, seashell, and starlight. Some beautiful colors. And so I thought we would use the purple for our flowers and then the gray in our background. Okay, so we'll be using this pack also. In this pack, there's 8 sheets. There's 2 of each color. I don't know if you can tell, but there's purple, gray, and then the 2 shades of I would say peachy colors, really beautiful colors. And then for step 5, we're going to be embellishing with Blue Skies Embellishment Mix. These are confetti pieces, and I don't know how I got a lost one, but they're really pretty, and I think they will go really good with my card. So that's everything that we're going to be using. Let's jump in and create some flowers. The Honeybell Floral is gorgeous. I love that it is a swag on its own. So you don't have to arrange. All you have to do is, well, I guess you can arrange the flowers, but you don't have to arrange the leaves, it's done for you. For my leaves, we're going to be using Simon Says Stamps Green Apple cardstock. Cut this out. I'm gonna create one, and then I'm gonna do 2 more the same way off camera, just to save a little bit of time. And then we have some blooms here. This is where our purple comes in from that pack. I'm gonna die cut out these with purple, and I will run these through my die cut machine, and we'll create some flowers. I am going to add a little bit of ink to the edges. With purples, I love purple and blue together. So I'm bringing in my Simon Says Stamp Cadet ink, and we're going to add a little bit of blue to our blooms. Just adding a little touch of blue really brings out the purple. I just think it's gorgeous. We'll put these to the side, and then I want to take my leaf portion. I'm using my Simon Says Stamp Field ink, and we're going to do the same thing by adding a little bit of green tone to the edges of just the leaves. This bloom, when you die cut it out, will layer perfectly over this bloom here. Okay, but I'm going to treat these as leaves. I want a real full leafy background, but you see how this piece goes over those? Okay, I'm just going to switch it up and turn these into leaves. There we go. I'm going to add a little dot of glue at the bottom of this flower, and then I like to bring my leaf to the flower here. We'll just tack that down. And then this flower is a layering flower, so I'll add a little dot of glue, and then we can add this piece at the bottom. I'll add another dot of glue, and then we can add this here. This flower, all I'm going to do is add a dot of glue here, and then I'm going to tack this one underneath this little petal. We'll put this over here on this petal. I'm going to layer this one and this one together here. And then we'll add a little glue. And that is all there is to our blooms. Now once we have these layered, I'm going to add a little shine. So I'm going to bring in my box here. And then I'm using some solar spray. This is Royal Flush. It has a real pretty, well, it's really hard to see. But this has a iridescent tint to this. It's very hard to see on camera, but it has a real purpley iridescent tint to it. And so I'm just going to shake it up really good, and then I'm going to spray my flower. And maybe you can see the tint. Maybe. It has a beautiful iridescent tint to it. Okay, I'm going to let this dry, and I'll make 2 more of those, and then those will be my focal point. We're going to move on to step number 2 and create our home panel. This is the Teardrop Pinpoint frames, and it's a gorgeous, if you're looking for a lacy nesting die set, this is just gorgeous. So pretty. I'm going to take this, I'll die cut this out with some white cardstock. And that will be my home panel. Let's move along to step number 3 and create our sentiment. That's where the thank you die set comes in. Let's open this up. I'm going to die cut out the shadow with some white cardstock. And then my thank you, I'm going to die cut out with the same color of cardstock that we used for our flowers, which is that real pretty purpley color. I'm also going to take some foam. Simon sells, take one of these A2 sheets of foam. Simon sells these in the shop. And I'll die cut out my thank you with some foam also. Now I'm going to add a little color, the same way we did the flowers, to my thank you. So I'll bring back my cadet ink. I'm just going to pick up a little bit. And I'm just going to go along the bottom and kind of fade up. Creating a 2-tone look here. We'll do the same thing with my U. And then I'll use a little bit of glue, and we're going to stack them on that foam. If you don't like foam, what you can do is just die cut out a couple extra and stack them together. But foam just gives the extra dimension without the extra die cutting. We'll just layer these together. Let's go ahead and just layer these. I love purple and blue together. And that will be my greeting for today. We'll put this to the side with the rest of our steps. And now we're going to work on step number, this takes a little bit of time to dry. So in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and jump to step number 4, which is creating our background. For my background, I got to zoom back out for that. For my background, we are going to use the Nature in Bloom 6x6 clear stamp, background stamp. Birds are singing, songs of spring. I just love this. I think it's beautiful. And I'm going to heat emboss, so I'm going to take this off of the backing. And for embossing today, I'm going to be using my Simon Says Stamp white pigment ink. I don't know if you guys know you can emboss with a pigment ink, especially white on colored cardstock. You can actually see the areas where you miss. We'll stamp one more time, give it a good press. Okay, I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to go over this with my white embossing powder. Wonderful. We'll just give that a tap here. I'm going to use my heat gun, and we'll melt this. And then that will be my background. It's a very nice subtle against that, it's a very nice subtle look against that gray cardstock. I'm going to take this panel, now we're going to put all our layers together. I'm going to take this panel, we're going to put some glue behind here and tack it down to the front of our card base. I mentioned today's going to be a landscape style card. Oh shoot. So when you do your print, you want to make sure that your print is landscape. Okay, we're going to tack this down. I was going to trim it, but I think I'm just going to go over the entire card base. That's all there is to my background. Now let's grab all of our layers. We have our greeting, we have our home panel, and then we have our flowers. You can kind of see that sheen. It's really pretty. I'm going to flip this over. I am going to add a little bit of foam tape, foam squares, behind just the flowers, not the leaves. Okay, we're going to arrange these in a circle. I want to fill in this background, so I'm kind of adjusting a little bit. May need to move this one over a little bit too. I don't mind if the flowers overlap. Okay, so we filled in that background, and I think that looks so pretty. We have a little gap in here, and that's a perfect spot for my greeting. So we're going to go ahead and add this. Just going to add some glue behind here, and we're going to place this in the middle. Wonderful. Wonderful. I think that looks just so pretty. Now I'm going to take my home panel. We're going to add glue behind here. And this is just going to go tack down right in the middle. I love when the dies do all the work for you. I think it's just gorgeous. Okay. Now we're going to move on to step number 5. That's where the Blue Skies embellishment mix comes in. It's really pretty. And it looks like there's 3 different sizes. So I'm just going to do a little tucking with some of these sequins. For the most part, all the sequins are tucked under those leaves, just so it doesn't take away from the flowers. But that will finish off my card project for today. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.